The school system is rigged. It wants to turn you into a slave, which is going to be an employee for the rest of your life. And there's actually a story about Henry Ford which perfectly represents this idea. During World War One, Henry Ford was put on trial because he didn't have the amount of information people thought he did. And so during the trial, people kept on asking him general information like math equations and how many soldiers there were in the US Army. And Henry Ford didn't know the answer to these questions. But you know what he said? He said, "Why would I clutter my mind with all this general information when I can just have a button on my desk to send me someone to answer these questions while I work on what I want to really work on?" And that perfectly represents what's wrong with the school system. But before I get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Jillian, and just around 3 years ago, I was a bullied skinny kid that had nothing going for himself in life. I was basically the definition of a degenerate, and that's when I found out what self-improvement was, and I decided to change my life around to who I am today. And that's why I created this channel, so I can help teens in the same situation as I was get on self-improvement and become the best versions of themselves. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and join us. So what this story about the cluttered mind represents is how school doesn't teach us anything. That might sound stupid, but you know this. School doesn't teach you anything. It teaches you to memorize everything. It teaches you how to memorize these math equations, which if I could ask you right now, an equation you probably know how to do a month ago, you would not know anymore. Because that's all it is. It's memorization. You memorize a bunch of general information about a bunch of topics you don't care about, and all that does is it stuffs your mind with information you don't need. You're gonna have a bunch of information about physics, math, English, which you're never gonna use, but it's gonna take space in your mind that could be used on what you want to actually learn about. And the reason school does this is because it doesn't promote entrepreneurs. It promotes employees. It wants to turn you into a slave, which is gonna be another person's lapdog that's always answering questions for the person who's making the money. Is that really what you wanna do? Do you want to be in the rat race, forcing to work until you're 60 because you're living paycheck to paycheck? And I actually got this idea of the rat race from Rich Dad Poor Dad, where he talks about how a lot of people don't realize how many expenses they have. The food they consume every month, the rent, the car insurance, the health insurance, all of this, it starts piling up. What he talks about is how people don't realize that their expenses are higher than their income. And that's what leads to the rat race. It leads to, if you miss one day of work and you don't get paid, you're going to drown and you're not going to survive. And that forces you into a repetitive form where you keep working over and over and you're never able to escape. Do you actually think people want to work 9 to 5s? Everyone wanted to be a singer, an actor, an NBA player, but no one ended up being that because they focused on a plan B. Let me explain what I mean by that. One of my friends really wants to join the NBA. They are honestly very good at basketball, and I think he could, but he's focused on the wrong thing. I keep noticing that he's skipping his morning workouts or his after school workouts and instead focusing on studying and all that, because what he said is, if I'm not able to get into the NBA, at least I have a plan B with school. And that's the biggest issue. School is never your plan A. It is always your plan B if your passion doesn't work out. The issue with plan Bs is that it means that you will never put 100% into your plan A. Imagine this, there's two scenarios. Someone has a plan B, they went into school, they have their diploma and everything, while another one is a 16-year-old dropout. Both of them really want to start a business, and they both start at the same age. The guy with no plan B understands that if he fails, he's gone. He's a homeless, he has nothing going for him, there's no diploma, no nothing. If he fails, it's over. His life is over. While the other guy, he knows that he always has a backup. If his business fails, he can always go with his diploma and find a safe job. Who do you think is going to put more work into their business? The guy whose life depends on it, or the guy, it's his passion, he just wants to get it done? It's the guy whose life depends on it. If he doesn't get it done, his life is over. He's basically cooked. If you ask anyone in your class right now, they're going to say that they want to be a singer or something like that. Everyone's going to say, no, I'll never work a 9 to 5, but those are the ones that always do. It's time to stop yapping. How do you escape? How do you stop being a slave to the school system? This might sound bad, but I want you to stop wasting your time on school. The time you have outside of school, the time you have in between breaks and all that, stop wasting it on studying, on homework, and all of that. Always do that right before the class starts. I never study until the last 30 minutes before the test. And those last 30 minutes, I stuff as much information as possible for the test, and I always end up having a good grade. But the reason I do this is because I don't want to clutter my mind with information. I know my goal. My goal is to be a high ticket coaching for self improvement. And I know that if I don't succeed in that, I will have nothing. So that's why I'm putting as much time as possible learning about self improvement and how to improve yourself for teens, because I know that's what's important to me. That's what I want to teach, not physics, not English, not math, all of that. I never waste my time on any of this. Understand that the time you have outside of school should be towards your passion. Every single minute you spend outside of school should be working on your goals. If you understand this, you will never scroll. You will never play video games. You will never do anything stupid because you won't need to cool down. You will understand that that's your goal. That's your purpose in life. And you will not want to waste a single minute on anything else. You will improve. You will learn everything you have to learn about that subject because you understand that your life depends on it. Your life depends on you becoming that singer, that NBA player, that personal coach, having that business succeed. And if you understand this, you will succeed. I guarantee it. If you make this plan B, if you follow the others and you say, you know what, he has some good points, but I still just want to have a plan B in case, and I'll get my diploma because either way, it doesn't matter. Think about it. If you say that, you are thinking the exact same as everyone else in your class, and you think your entire class is going to end up singers, actors, and all that. No, because they're going to all have the same plan B. After 2 years of trying, they're going to quit and they're going to go to the 9 to 5 they said they'd never work. But not you. If you don't have that second choice, that job, you will have to sacrifice. You will have to eat cup noodles and drink sewage water for those years while you become that perfect singer. And once that pays off, it'll look overnight, but all of your struggles will have been worth it, and you will become one of the greats. That is how you become great. Everyone always puts these celebrities on stools and believes that it's their genetics or something like that. Everyone is capable of that. Understand that your only limitations are the ones you set for yourself. If you understand that, that's all you ever have to know. Don't be a slave to the school system. It sucks. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.